Greg De Palma was, an older guy in the family. He's been around for a long time. He's out there to make money, and he was trying to make money big time.
Right.
When he seen what Jack brought to the table as far as finances is concerned, as a captain, which Greg was, he's under big pressure to make sure he kicks up to the bosses.
Right.
So he's got to make sure that he can eat.
Right.
So, I can say that, I don't think anybody else would have did differently than Greg De Palma did. They would have ingratiated Jack. I don't care who it was, because that's what the streets have come to. Because it ain't like it was in the early 80s where money was around and scams were around and, everybody was eating and there was money to be made. Now it's a little bit different. People are a little bit more guarded today. There's no more, free reign financially in the street.
Right.
You can open up an offshore gambling site, or, you're going to shake down some guys that are doing something crooked, or, you got a connection with some marijuana or other drugs. I mean, there's nothing else out there.
Well, yeah, no, you're totally right. I mean, and the few guys, when I kind of think back, when you have guys that come up with a new scheme and they're making, bringing in money hand over fist, then you have the mob that still wants to whack them out, because then they're wondering how much money they're truly holding back. Are they?
100%.
I mean, look at somebody like Michael Francesi. I mean, how much?
The whole idea is he was making extraordinary amounts of money.
Right.
So the bosses automatically, you got to remember something. They're bosses. They don't want you to have more than them. They want you to do good, but don't do better than them.
Right. Right.
So if you're doing better than them, you become a risk. You become somebody who's a threat.
Right.
Francesi was in that position where he was making so much money, he could start controlling everybody.
Right.
So and he's dealing with guys like Carmine Persico, who, come out of the womb a gangster. I mean, this guy was born for that life. And Carmine was a serious dude. Carmine was a gangster, bro. Plain and simple.
Right.
I knew the Persicos a long time. I knew Teddy, I knew Danny. May he rest in peace. Danny just passed away not too long ago. And those were Carmine's nephews.
Right.
But Carmine in the street, like even Nicky and Lenny, my bosses, they had nothing but respect for Carmine Persico. Carmine Persico, I mean, this guy, he was a true tough guy. That was a true tough guy.
Right.
Carmine Persico survived 3 gangland wars. He held the position of boss even when he was in jail all those years.
Yeah, that's true.
He made millions of dollars with millions of dollars. But Carmine was a ruthless man who he ruled with an iron fist.
Right. Well, it seemed like I mean, obviously that whole family was pretty tough. I mean, Teddy Persico was a pretty tough dude too,
Teddy Persico, listen, Teddy Persico, he had balls, Teddy. If we're talking about the nephew, I can tell you he had balls, Teddy.
Right.
He didn't take no shorts from nobody. He's going to go all out. He's going to do what he has to do. I knew Teddy in the street very well. We used to write each other when we were away. And I could honestly say that, he's real. He's a real guy. In that life, he's a real gangster.
Right.
There's guys out there, I like to say, Scott, it's 80% bullshit, 15% action. There's guys out there, there's a 50% nucleus of organized crime figures in every crime family who are very serious at what they do. The rest of the guys are just living off reputations of their bosses,
right,
whatever it may be.
Who they're surrounded with.
And they're not who they're portrayed to be.
Right.
And there are some guys that they live and breathe it, and they don't care about the penalties, and they will come after you.
Right. Did you ever have any dealings with Tommy Patera?
I never did. No, I did not. I did not have anything to do with Tommy Patera at all.
Right. I read his book, and I don't know. Again, it was by Philip Carlo, who actually wrote Casso's biography. I guess it was a biography.
Well, Casso and Carlo had some sort of. They used to be neighbors or something.
Yes. Right. Absolutely.
As far as Tommy Patera, I had some friends of mine who knew Tommy Tommy very well. They were close with Tommy, and they had a lot of respect for Tommy because, Tommy, did everything on his own. Think about it. I mean, he had guys around him. Don't get me wrong. He had guys around him that did what he had to do.
Right.
Ryan Patera was pretty much like a one-man show. He did what he had to do. But at the end of the day, there's another story. It's not a happy ending.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, if you keep on looking for the happy ending, good luck to you. Because there are some guys that died of natural causes or whatever throughout the years or whatever. But let's face it, 9 out of 10 guys in that life are going to rot in prison or die in the street with a gun in their hand.
Right.
And if you ask me, when you look at both entities of it, you're never going to get a chance to spend the money you steal. The only ones who get rich are the lawyers.
Right.
Your family suffers. You're going to be in and out of prison. You're going to grow old in prison. The retirement plan sucks.
Right.
And you got to be prepared for that. And a lot of guys, they don't know that going in. And then afterwards, they realize, they're like, oh man, then they realize, when you realize you're expendable, and you realize that, you don't have this great relationship with the boss or the guy who's ahead of you, or you think you do, and you realize at the end of the day, you're just one of many, and it'll wake you up. It'll wake you up like cold water on like 6 in the morning.
Obviously people are like, I don't know how these guys can flip. Well, that's those people realizing it. They come to a point where they're like, man, this is a dead end. This.
Well, of course. Not only that, it's like, flipping is one thing, but when you're faced with circumstances, that's another. But when you realize that everything that you've been fed is a lie.
Right.
Everything that you've been fed is not what it is. And, when you've been eating that shit for years, thinking that it's truth, and it's not, then you start to realize, hey, how much am I going to sacrifice here?
Right.
And you know what I find? It's a 9-to-5 guy who never broke an egg in his life, who's never going to get a jaywalking ticket, who's never going to get a red light speeding ticket. That's the guy who judges guys the most about who flips and who don't.
Absolutely. Right. Now.
Right, because they're living vicariously through the acts of others, because they ain't got the balls to do it themselves.
Right.
So they're going to judge other people. These are the guys that would be in the fetal position, fighting for their mothers. If they're ever faced against some of the things that some of the friends that I haven't been faced with, or the things that I went through in my life, these guys would be in the fetal position.
No, well, and it's funny. That's going back to what we talked about earlier. These guys on these mob sites, like, it's easy to talk tough and what you would have done in that situation, sitting behind a freaking computer keyboard. You know what I mean?
It's like when you watch NFL football on Sunday. It's easy to say who sucks and who don't suck on Monday, but those guys get paid millions for a reason. They're doing something that we could never do,
right?
A level that we could never do it on.
Right. Absolutely.
So yeah, you could judge them because in your eyes, some of them are your heroes. Some of them are guys that you have respect for. So when somebody tells you that your hero is a guy who puts on his pants just like you do, and at the end of the day, he's not this prolific figure that you thought he was,
right?
My God, I'm sure that there's a lot of guys out there that don't want to come to the realization that their heroes are just nothing but scumbags.
Right. Well, and it makes you wonder, like, why some of these old timers that are, that are away to prison, why they kind of, live like a, by that old protocol. Like a guy like Joe Watts. It's like at some point you would just be like, man, I'm done with this shit. That life.
Yeah, but see, there's certain guys that unbeknownst to the public, what they don't know is there's certain guys that are never going to get deals.
Right.
When they cooperate with the government.
Right.
Because they've done too much, and they've done too much damage for too long, and they're not gonna get a deal.
Right.
Sammy was, if you ask me, Sammy and Gas were. I never thought that, and I'm not an expert by any means, but I never thought they would have got a deal for the things that they've done.
Right.
But just so happens that they did. But some guys are just targets. And if they're not going to cooperate, like Joe Messina, he seen the writing on the wall. He knew. He did it if you ask me, Joe Messina flipped so he could protect his family.
Right.
Because they were probably going to take everything away from him. And so that's what he family comes first.
Right.
Can't wrong the guy for that.
Right. So I mean that
the writing's on the wall. That life is over. It's nice to talk about. You want to talk about old history, who used to hang out where. Hey, remember when that used to happen? Remember when this used to happen?
Right.
But it's over.
Well, and that's why I like talking to you guys, because it's like you guys have a firsthand experience. Obviously, you lived that life, and you know what these kids are facing going into it, and the promises that are being made, and it's probably the same script being sold to them to pull them in. And what I hope to do is do some interviews and write some articles and do some research and just kind of get stuff out there, and hopefully people that have to maybe look into the life would be intrigued enough to read about it and maybe would see some dismay.
They don't see the dismay in it. Believe me, I sat in a room with my bosses. I sat in a room with other criminals, and they're going to get ready to go to a sit-down. And they're thinking about how they can lie and strategizing so how they can get ahead of the situation.
Right.
And, what lies to put in place so we can win that sit-down, because they might on the table or something else like that. There's no honor amongst thieves. It's just thieves.
Right. Absolutely. So, I know that, that you and Frank and Kenji, Frank Collada, you guys all get together and y'all do, y'all and all independently as well, do talks and speeches and stuff. What all do you have going on right now?
Well, the whole idea is, I tell you the truth, I stay pretty low-key. If a project comes up that I think is worth it, where, I can make at least a positive impact, I do it.
Right.
And I took myself out of all the equations, because you got a lot of people who will call you, to get information or whatever, and a lot of these people are worse than the guys that I used to deal with. Scott, me and you have a little bit of a history. I wanted to do this interview to talk with you. You're a gentleman.